cricket, life, and everything in between. 25 questions with Rahul Dravid.
So Rahul, if you are not a cricketer, what would you have been?
Oh, tough one. I did a commerce degree, tried to do an MBA, so I don't know, maybe something related to commerce or accounts or something.
What's the one thing you would have liked to have taken from any other batsman's game?
Brian Lara's flair, maybe. I loved his creativity and flair.
One bowler from history you would have loved to have faced?
Michael Holding. Or Jeff Thompson, actually. Michael Holding or Jeff Thompson. Just for a few balls, not for too many though. And definitely not without a helmet.
If you could win one trophy from another sport outside cricket, what would that be?
Any Olympic gold would do, even if like they have an Olympic gold for watching or something. I think just being in an Olympics would be amazing, and to win an Olympic gold would be incredible.
Adelaide 233, Kolkata 180, Jamaica 81. If you had to choose one innings, pick one of the three.
It's very hard to pick one of those. Each are very significant, but I don't know. I'd say in some ways the 81 in Jamaica is less recognized, so I'll just say 81 in Jamaica.
If you had to pick your own nickname, what would it be? Not the wall, what would it be?
Rahul. Can you just call me Rahul?
A batsman from the past who you would have liked to have a partnership with?
I would have loved to have partnered Sunil Gavaskar, and hopefully I would have been batting in Gavaskar, would have got out and G.R. Vishnath would have walked in. So that would have been cool because they were my heroes growing up and childhood heroes, so that would have been really nice to bat with them.
What would be the title of your autobiography?
The book that was never written.
Who has been your role model in life?
I think a lot of my thoughts and values have been, I think, programmed by my parents and just watching them, the way they went about things. So I have to say a lot of what I do and believe in comes from my parents.
What is any sort of favorite superstition or a compulsive habit that you had that defined you the most?
Not really a superstitious person, but I did put on my right pad first. Started off mainly as a habit. The tendency was to kneel down on my left knee and put the right pad on first. It started off as a sort of just a habit, and I just continued with it.
It wasn't superstition or...
I wouldn't say it was, if I didn't do it, it didn't matter that much to me.
Finest book that you have read so far?
I might say it's the finest book, but the book that influenced me most as a youngster, so it's probably something I remember, was Jonathan Livingston Seagull by Richard Bach. So I read it as a 15, 16-year-old. And in a sense, it resonated a lot with me and what I was trying to do at that stage. Maybe it was just came at the time in my life when I was really keen on pursuing cricket and making it a profession and quite single-minded towards it. So, the bird's flight towards excellence sort of kind of resonated with me.
What is your favorite holiday destination where you would like to go with your family?
We like the forest, so the family, we go to the forest a lot in Karnataka, in Kabini and places like that. So we love our forest holidays. So yeah, we try and do that at least once a year, if not more often with the family.
If you had to, it was compulsory that you could only eat one food you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life. What would you pick?
I've got a real sweet tooth, so I'd maybe just like chocolates, and hopefully it doesn't do harm to my body. So that should be, if you're allowed only one pick, that should actually, it shouldn't harm your body. So I know chocolates won't be good for me if I had that many of them, but if I could have only one thing, then the sweet tooth that I have, chocolates probably.
If you could play a prank on one of your teammates in your playing days, who would you pick on and what would you do?
I shared the room with Venkatesh Prasad a few times, and Venki was incredibly neat. So I might want to and he left. He used to even fold his, I think, clothes that he gave for laundry and put it in a laundry bag. So maybe and he kept the room so clean. So maybe like the look on his face when he walked into a completely messed up room, I think would be priceless.
What is a headline from your career that you remember the most?
Dravid helps St. Joseph's win title. I think that would be one of the early ones in my career and as a schoolboy. First time your sort of name comes in the papers, you kind of remember it and sort of all excited about it. And you really hope they get the spelling right, because a lot of times early on in my career they didn't believe that the name could be Dravid, so they would put David. So I have a lot of these paper cuttings with me, as the scoreboard would go to the newspapers as Dravid, and the next day in the paper would come as David, thinking that we've made a mistake with the spelling. But yeah, it was.
Amongst the present crop of bowlers, who do you think would have troubled you the most?
Well, I've played with. I'm not that old that I haven't. I've actually played with a few of them, and they've troubled me enough. So the guys who I've probably not played against, who would, as a fast bowler, I'd say someone like Mitchell Stark. I mean, I played Mitchell Stark, to be honest, so he doesn't count actually. Rabada maybe. Rabada, I think, is a really special bowler. If you counted an Indian, then I'd say, someone like Bhuvi, I think would be quite a challenge, because one of the things that I think, did trouble me a little in my career was balls coming back into me and sort of swinging back in. And I love Bhuvi's control with the new ball. He's able to swing it away and swing it back in. So facing Bhuvi, the new ball, when an early wicket is gone, I think would be a great challenge.
What do you love the most about being retired and not playing the game?
Not having to play fast bowlers and bouncers. I love that. Not having to wake up thinking, oh God, how am I going to play someone bowling 145 over and ducking and weaving.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
I think I'm a little bit old-fashioned, and so when growing up, Superman was the big star, so you could fly from anywhere to anywhere and do anything, so I guess you'd be Superman.
Who's a sportsman from another sport that you admire and would like to meet?
Probably met him, but I think Federer is really someone I've always watched and admired, the way he's carried himself, what he's done. Met him once at Wimbledon, just pretty much a fanboy moment. Took a photograph, kind of thing. So it was lovely. It was nice to go to Wimbledon and then to meet him once.
If you could watch one cricket match as a fan from the stadium, which ground would you pick?
One cricket match from a stadium, I'd say Lords. I just think the whole vibe of Lords, I've always loved Lords. Just walking into the ground, there's something about it. There's something about the history about it. I've done well there as well, so that does help. But I just love the atmosphere and the vibe of that ground. It's terrific.
If you could see one band or one singer live, who would it be?
I'd love to see Bob Dylan. I would probably love to see Bob Dylan or Springsteen. I'd say if you were in a concert, you'd want to see a Springsteen concert for just the energy and the thing that you see. I've seen a few on videos, so you see what he brings to the table. But Bob Dylan would be nice as well.
One batsman you choose to bat for your life?
One batsman I choose to bat for my life? I'd say the best guy I played with was Sachin, in terms of quality and class and what he got. So I'd say I'd have to choose Sachin in terms of, at his best, definitely Sachin.
If you had to be described as a hashtag, what would it be?
Uncomplicated. I don't know. Yes.
What's been the funniest sledge that you faced as a batsman? Again, or when you were fielding, or whatever. Just the funniest sledge against you.
When I walked in Calcutta, I was reminded that I was batting at number 3 in the first test. By the time we had reached the 4th innings in Calcutta, I was number 6. So I was reminded that, by the end of the series, I'd be number 12, which I thought was really funny. And it made sense as well, because I started at 3, I was at 6. There was one more test match to go, and there was a good possibility I might have been 12 as well.
If a movie was made on you, who would you like to play the title role?
Who would I like to play the role? I don't know, I mean, I'd say Amir Khan or something like that. I'd say Amir Khan maybe.